It was okay. Nothing had happened yet. There were at least 40 kids in the gypsy field, all clustered around Ross. The drizzle was steady now, filling the air, but there weren't many coats. Just wet kids, hair plastered down to their white foreheads. As I got nearer, I could see that they were two distinct groups. The first group was made of the tough kids from our year, and the hardest kids from the 2 years below. Not the kind of kids you would want to get on the wrong side of. The bullies and the thugs and the meatheads. The ones who took your dinner money and knelt on your chest and spat in your face. Not nice boys. Not nice boys at all. And then there were others, smaller mostly, but with a few gangly beanpoles and some roly-poly fatties. These were the ones who'd come because they'd been told to, or who didn't know what was really going on, or who thought it was their only chance to make a mark, to worm their way into the approval of the top dogs. Some looked frightened already, and others were trying to work themselves up into a bloodlust, but it still appeared fake, like little kids playing at war. "Paul. Good," said Ross, and he drew me to him, through the mass as if by sheer force of gravity. "You've got a mission. You're the most important person here." And while he was saying it, while he was murmuring into my ear, pressing me close, I believed him. "You know what to do?" I nodded, uncertainly. "One more time. You keep this lot here." He gestured toward the bait. "You keep this lot together. Over there, where the beck bends back." He pointed to where the beck made a U shape. "Once the Templars came, there'd be no way for us to escape. We'd be completely trapped against the beck. But then, so would they. That was the idea." "I don't want any runners," Ross said to me, but loud enough for the others to hear. "Anyone runs, and the plan fails. If the plan fails, I'm going to hurt someone. Have you got that?" I nodded. And you know what you've got if you need it." Again, I nodded, ashamed, excited. "Right then, quick, before they get here." And then Ross began to turn to the hard kids. "Wait," I said. Ross turned back to me slowly. "What?" "It's going to be bad if you don't come." Ross smiled. "Don't come?" "We'll come, and we've got some surprises." Then Ross opened his jacket, and a big black handle stuck out of the top of his inside pocket of his blazer, and the pocket itself was almost bursting at the seams. There was something big in there, bigger than a knife, and around him the other thugs also moved clothing and showed some of what they had. There were metal bars and chains and rocks and knives. The kids I was there to lead saw this, and they shouted and cheered. But I felt sick. "Anything else?" Ross said to me. I shook my head, and walked with the rest of the bait. About 20 kids altogether, over the uneven, wet grass of the gypsy field, to our place. Looking over my shoulder, I saw Roth and the others stalk off until they reached the part of the beck that dipped beneath the level of the field, and one by one they dropped down out of sight, like devils returning to the underworld. Despite the fact that there were still about 20 of us left, it suddenly felt very lonely, and now I looked at them again. The kids I was with seemed even more insignificant and scrawny than before. There weren't many kids from my year. The hard ones were all hidden down by the beck, with Ross, and the rest were clever or cowardly enough to know not to get mixed up in this. I'm not tall for my age, just average, but I saw that I was the biggest there. It made me feel strange, and it took me a few seconds to realize it was a good strange, not a bad one. I felt a tug at my sleeve. Do you know what's happening? I looked down. It was the annoying year 8 urchin whose ball I booted away. The same one Ross had been about to grit against the wall before Shane saved him. It seemed like years ago. What? I was at the back. I couldn't hear. Where are we going? Why ask me? The kid's face stared up at me. The other faces were also turned to me. I had a powerful urge to wave my hand at them and leave them walking away across the fields, away from them, away from the school, away from Shane, away from Maddie, away from everything. But something inside me knew that you couldn't walk away from stuff like that it follows you and ruins wherever you go. And there was something else. These pathetic losers needed me. What was your name again? Skinner. Well, Skinner, that's where we're going. I pointed to the loop in the stream 20 meters ahead. And what do we do when we get there? We wait. What are we waiting for? The others were listening in now. I wondered what Roth had told them. The Templemore lot are going to come across the field. They'll see us and charge. We stand there until Roth and the others arrive. Oh. The kid thought for a minute. But then they'll be behind them. Yeah. And we'll be in front of them. That's right. But there'll be nothing between us and them. What did you think was going to happen? Why did you come here anyway? Everyone said we had to. They said it was the honor of the school. Is that not right? I didn't know what to say to him, but something was needed. Look, it'll be okay. When Roth and the others attack them, the Templars will ignore us and try and fight against them. That's if they don't just run for their lives. Well, it was possible. We reached the place and I found that I was leading them. What now? Someone said. I've already told you. We wait. But should we get ready or something? I stared at the rabble. It looked like a decent belch would blow them all down. Roth could have picked them all up and crumpled them like a bouillon cube. I was torn between a kind of contempt and pity, but their young faces were all upon me. I had become their messiah, their hope. I went through them, picking out the bigger ones, the ones who looked like they might be able to take care of themselves. Okay, you lot, I said. You're in front. I lined them up, facing away from the back. The rest of you, you're to stay back here. I'm not going at the back, said Skinner. That's up to you, I replied, half annoyed, half impressed by his gumption. Stand wherever you want. Then I went and checked out the back. The banks here went straight down without any kind of a path or flat bit along the edge. It was 1/2 meter drop into the water. The stream itself was quite strong, flowing smooth and brown. I didn't know how deep the water was. 1 meter, maybe. In an emergency, we could escape across it, but it wouldn't be nice. I can see something, said one of the boys. We all looked up at the hill. Yes, there they were. A purple cloud. Couldn't tell how many yet, but it was plenty. I glanced over to where Ross and his mob were lurking. I saw a head bob up, stay for a moment, and then duck down again. He'd seen them too. The kids around me began to fidget. I've got to go home, said one kid. He was the smallest one here. Me tea's ready. Me mom'll kill me. You can't. You heard what Ross said. You want him to hurt you? But I don't like it here. Someone laughed mockingly, and a rough hand pushed the little kid in the back. Anyone else want to go home? I asked. A couple of them looked at each other, but then there was the general shaking of heads. Okay, you, I said to the little one. The only way you can leave without Ross seeing you is to go through the beck. No chance, he said, wide-eyed with terror. There's rats. A lot of kids were scared of the beck, scared of the filth in it and the rats and the stuff you couldn't see under the surface. Well, you'll have to stay then. And the tears started to roll down his face. Shh, and he began to whimper. It was turning into a disaster. If this kid really lost it, then there was no telling what effect it might have on the others. I grabbed him by the jumper. Shut up, I said. Get on my back. What? Up, get up. Then, with him pushing and me pulling, I got him on my back and stepped down into the water. The kid weighed nothing. I've eaten bags of chips that had more substance. But the current almost whipped my legs out from under me, and I stumbled and felt the boy cling to me, the way you sometimes see baby monkeys holding onto its mother's back. But I steadied myself, and we were set. The water was up to my knees. I could feel the ooze and slime under my trainers. I walked on, grunting with each step. Then the water was over my knees and lapping against the kid's feet. But it was fine. We were getting there. Until the next time I put my foot down, and it seemed as if it would never reach the bed of the stream. I staggered and lurched. The boy clung even tighter, his arms around my neck, cutting off the air. The water was around my waist, pulling me, nagging me, urging me to fall. But we did not fall. I tottered on and reached the far bank. I didn't have the strength to climb out with the boy on my back, so I twisted and threw him down. Hey! He yelled. Careful! Piss off home, I said, and the kid, without saying thanks, ran scampering away, tripping and falling a couple of times in the rough grass. And then, when he felt safe, he turned, screamed a curse, threw up his fingers at me in a frenzy of V's. I suppose I should have been offended or angry or something, but I found myself smiling at first, and then laughing. So much I almost fell over on my way back across the beck.